My name is Riley Chen, and I am 24 years old. The day my sister told me I was not family, we were sitting in a conference room at Henderson and Associates law firm, waiting for my mother's attorney to read her will. My mother had died 2 weeks earlier. Cancer. Fast. Brutal. She had been sick for 6 months but only told us in the final month. By then, it was too late for treatment. Too late for goodbyes that mattered. Now we sat in uncomfortable chairs. My older sister Vanessa. My mother's sister, Aunt Grace. My mother's longtime friend Patricia. And me. Waiting to hear how Mom had divided her estate. Vanessa sat across from me. Perfect as always. Hair styled. Makeup flawless. Designer suit. She worked in finance. Made good money. Had the life Mom always wanted for both of us. I was different. I worked as a graphic designer. Freelance. Modest income. Small apartment. I had chosen creativity over stability. Mom had never quite forgiven me for that. The attorney, Mr. Henderson, was reviewing documents. Taking his time. We waited in silence. Uncomfortable. Sad. Grieving in our own ways. Vanessa broke the silence. This should not take long. Mom was clear about her wishes. Everything goes to me. Riley gets some personal items. That is how she wanted it. I looked at her. How do you know that? She told me. Years ago. She said I was the responsible one. The one who made good choices. The one she could trust with her legacy. Aunt Grace shifted uncomfortably. Vanessa, maybe we should wait for Mr. Henderson to explain. There is nothing to explain. Mom and I discussed this many times. Riley made her choices. I made mine. These are just consequences. I said nothing. Just sat there. Absorbing her words. Her certainty. Her casual cruelty. Vanessa continued. Honestly, Riley, you are lucky to get anything. You barely visited Mom when she was sick. Barely called. You were too busy with your art projects to care about family. That is not true. I visited every week. For an hour. Maybe 2. I was there every day. Helping. Supporting. Being actual family. I had to work. I had deadlines. Excuses. You always have excuses. That is why Mom never really considered you family. Not the way she considered me. The words hit like a physical blow. Not family. As if 24 years of being her daughter meant nothing. As if every moment I spent loving her, trying to please her, trying to be enough, was erased because I was not Vanessa. Mr. Henderson cleared his throat. If we are ready, I will begin reading the will. Please, Aunt Grace said. Let us get this over with. Mr. Henderson opened the folder. I started reading. Standard legal language. Then he got to the distributions. To my daughter Vanessa Chen, I leave my home, my car, and 50% of my liquid assets. To my sister Grace, I leave my jewelry collection. To my friend Patricia, I leave my book collection and $10,000. Vanessa smiled. Satisfied. Victorious. And to Riley, Mr. Henderson continued, I leave the remaining 50% of my liquid assets, my investment portfolio, and my safe deposit box contents. The room went quiet. Vanessa's smile faded. Wait. What? Your mother split the liquid assets equally between you and Riley. And gave Riley the investment portfolio. That is approximately $1.2 million. Vanessa stood up. That is wrong. Mom would never do that. She told me I was getting everything. Mr. Henderson looked at her over his glasses. This will was signed 6 months ago. Updated from a previous version. Your mother was very clear about the distributions. 6 months ago. Vanessa looked at me. You did something. You manipulated her. Got her to change the will when she was sick. I did nothing. I did not even know she updated it. Liar. You had to know. Why else would she suddenly change everything? Mr. Henderson interrupted. Miss Chen, your mother was of sound mind when she signed this will. I witnessed it personally. She was not coerced or manipulated. This was her decision. But why? Vanessa's voice was shaking. Why would she give Riley anything? Riley is not even really family. The words hung in the air. Not really family. Said with such venom. Such certainty. Aunt Grace gasped. Vanessa, That is enough. It is true. Riley knows it. We all know it. She was always different. Never fit in. Mom only kept her around out of obligation. Mr. Henderson set down the will. Actually, there is something else you should know. Your mother left a sealed file. To be opened only in the presence of all beneficiaries. She specifically requested it be opened if there was any dispute about Riley's place in the family. What file? Vanessa demanded. He pulled out a manila envelope. Sealed. My mother's handwriting on the front. For Riley. To be opened with a family present. Open it, Vanessa said. If it proves Riley does not deserve anything, I want to contest this will. Mr. Henderson looked at me. Riley, do you consent to opening this in front of everyone? I did not know what was in that file. Did not know what my mother wanted to say. But I was tired. Tired of being dismissed. Tired of being told I did not belong. Tired of Vanessa's cruelty. Open it. He broke the seal. Pulled out papers. Started reading silently. His expression changed. Surprise. Then something like understanding. What does it say? Vanessa asked. Mr. Henderson looked at her. Then at me. Then back at the papers. This is a birth certificate. Riley's birth certificate. The original one. Not the amended version that was filed later. I do not understand, I said. What does that mean? It means your mother wanted you to know something. Something she kept secret for 24 years. He turned the birth certificate toward me. I looked at it. Read the names. Mother, Susan Chin. Father, blank. Then below, in smaller text. Biological mother, Grace Chin. The room spun. I looked at Aunt Grace. She had tears streaming down her face. Hands covering her mouth. Vanessa grabbed the paper. Read it. Her face went white. This is not possible. Mr. Henderson pulled out another document. A legal adoption record. Grace Chin relinquished parental rights to her sister Susan Chin. Riley was born to Grace. Adopted by Susan. Raised as Susan's daughter. I stared at Aunt Grace. You are my mother. She nodded. Could not speak. Just nodded. Why did no one tell me? Susan, Aunt Grace finally whispered. Susan could not have children. I got pregnant. No father. No support. No way to raise a baby. Susan offered to adopt you. To raise you as hers. I agreed. Thought it was best for everyone. Vanessa was still holding the birth certificate. Looking between me and Aunt Grace. This does not change anything. You are not really Mom's daughter. You are just her niece. You should not inherit anything. Mr. Henderson's voice was firm. Riley is legally Susan's daughter. The adoption was finalized. She has every right to inherit. But Susan lied. Made us all think Riley was hers. Susan protected Riley. And now Susan made sure Riley knew the truth. I could not process it. Could not think. My mother was not my mother. My aunt was my mother. My sister was my cousin. Everything I thought I knew was wrong. Vanessa threw the birth certificate on the table. This is ridiculous. I am contesting the will. Riley does not deserve half the estate. She barely even knew Mom. I found my voice. I knew her better than you think. Maybe not as a daughter. But I knew her. And she chose to leave me this. To tell me the truth. That means something. It means she was guilty. Guilty for lying to you your whole life. Maybe. But she also wanted me to know. Wanted me to understand. Wanted me to have what I deserved. You deserve nothing. Aunt Grace stood. Vanessa, stop. You are being cruel. Riley is family. Whether you accept it or not. She is your daughter. Not mine. Not really. She is your cousin. Your family. And you are treating her like she is nothing. Because she is nothing. A mistake. An inconvenience. Someone who never belonged. The words echoed in the conference room. Cold. Final. Vanessa truly believed I did not matter. That I was less than. That I was not worth kindness or respect or acknowledgement. Mr. Henderson gathered the papers. I think this meeting is concluded. Riley, you will need to sign some documents. Vanessa, if you want to contest the will, you have that right. But I warn you. It will be expensive. Time-consuming. And unlikely to succeed. Vanessa grabbed her purse. This is not over. She stormed out. Patricia followed her, trying to calm her. Failing. Aunt Grace and I sat in silence. Mr. Henderson excused himself. Gave us space. I looked at her. Why did you never tell me? Because Susan asked me not to. She wanted you to be hers completely. Thought knowing would confuse you. Hurt you. She loved you so much. Wanted to protect you from feeling different. I always felt different. I know. Grace reached across the table. Took my hand. I am sorry. I should have insisted, you know. But I was scared. Scared of losing you. Scared you would hate me for giving you up. I do not hate you. You should. I do not. I am just trying to understand. She squeezed my hand. I was young. 19. Pregnant. Alone. Your biological father left the moment I told him. I had no money. No support. Susan offered to help. To adopt you. To give you the life I could not. I thought I was doing the right thing. Maybe you were. I do not know. We sat there. Two people trying to redefine their relationship. Trying to figure out what we were to each other now. After the meeting, I went home. Sat in my small apartment. Stared at the birth certificate. Tried to process everything. My mother was not my mother. My aunt was my mother. My sister was my cousin. My entire life was built on a lie. Part of me was angry. At Mom for not telling me. At Aunt Grace for giving me up. At everyone for keeping this secret for 24 years. But another part was understood. They thought they were protecting me. Giving me stability. A normal life. Love. I called Aunt Grace that evening. We talked for 3 hours. About my biological father. A college boyfriend who disappeared. When she told him she was pregnant. About her decision to let Susan adopt me. About watching me grow up as her niece instead of her daughter. She cried. A lot. Said she regretted it. Wished she had kept me. Raised me herself. But also knew Susan had given me opportunities she could not have provided. It was complicated. Messy. Real. Over the next few weeks, I read through everything in Mom's safe deposit box. Letters. Photos. Documents. A diary where she wrote about adopting me. About loving me. About hoping I would never feel less than. Never feel unwanted. She wrote. Riley is mine. Not by birth. But by choice. I chose her. Every day. I chose to be her mother. To give her everything I had. To love her unconditionally. Reading those words broke something open in me. She loved me. Really loved me. Not because she had to. Because she wanted to. The money did not matter. The house did not matter. What mattered was knowing she saw me. Valued me. Choose me. Vanessa did contest the will. Hired an expensive attorney. Filed paperwork. Demanded mediation. She was fighting hard. Spending money she did not have yet. Betting everything on winning. The mediation happened 6 weeks after the initial meeting. Same conference room. Different energy. Hostile. Tense. Vanessa's attorney argued that the will was unfair. That Riley was not a biological child. That the bulk of the estate should go to Vanessa as the only true daughter. Mr. Henderson countered. Riley was legally adopted. Susan's daughter in every legal sense. The will was valid. The distributions were Susan's choice. The mediator asked Vanessa. Why do you feel entitled to more of the estate? Vanessa looked at me. Because I am her real daughter. I was there. I took care of her. Riley was just an obligation. Someone Susan felt guilty about. That is not true, I said quietly. Vanessa turned to me. Yes, it is. You know it is. Mom never loved you the way she loved me. You were always second. Always less. Then why did she leave me half the liquid assets and the entire investment portfolio? Vanessa had no answer. Just stared at me with hatred so pure it was almost frightening. The mediator made her decision. The will stands. Distributions remain as written. Vanessa, you can continue to contest in court. But I warn you. You will likely lose. And damage your relationship with Riley permanently. Our relationship is already damaged, Vanessa said. Beyond repair. Then I guess we are done here. The mediation ended. Vanessa left without speaking to me. Her attorney followed. Looking tired. Probably regretting taking this case. Mr. Henderson pulled me aside. Are you okay? I am tired. I know. But you did well. You stood up for yourself. For your mother's wishes. That takes courage. Does it get easier? Dealing with a family who hates you? Eventually. Or you build a new family. One that chooses to love you. I think I would like that. 3 months after the mediation, the estate was settled. I received my inheritance. $1.2 million. Plus personal items from Mom's house. Photos. Letters. Her wedding ring. Things that mattered more than money. I also received something unexpected. A letter from Vanessa. Not an apology. Just acknowledgement. Riley. I was wrong to say you were not family. Legally, you are. Mom chose you. Adopted you. I loved you. I cannot change that. I am still angry. Still hurt. I still feel like I deserved more. But I recognize that my feelings do not change reality. We will probably never be close. But I hope someday we can be civil. For Mom's sake. Vanessa. It was not much. But it was something. A crack in the wall. A possibility of future peace. I did not respond immediately. I need time. Space. Healing. Instead, I focused on my life. My work. My future. I used part of the inheritance to open a proper design studio. Hired 2 assistants. Took on bigger clients. Built something Mom would have been proud of. I also spent time with Aunt Grace. Getting to know her as my biological mother. Learning about her life. Her struggles. Her choices. We did not have a traditional mother-daughter relationship. But we were building something real. Something honest. One afternoon, we were having coffee. She asked. Do you resent me? For giving you up? I thought about it. Sometimes. But mostly I understand. You were young. Scared. You did what you thought was best. I wish I had been braver. Keep you. I raised you myself. Maybe. But then I would not have had Mom. Susan. Whatever I call her. I would not have had the life I had. The opportunities. The love. Would I trade that for you? I do not know. She cried. I hugged her. We sat there. 2 women trying to build something from broken pieces. 6 months after Mom died, I found one more letter. Hidden in a book she had given me years ago. I was packing up her house when I discovered it. The envelope was addressed to me. In Mom's handwriting. Dated 3 days before she died. I sat on her bedroom floor. I opened it. Read. My dearest Riley. If you are reading this, you know the truth. About Grace. About your adoption. About who you really are. I am sorry I never told you while I was alive. I was scared. Scared you would love me less. Scared you would choose Grace over me. Scared I would lose the most important relationship of my life. But you deserve the truth. You deserve to know that I chose you. Not because I had to. Because I wanted to. The moment Grace told me she was pregnant. The moment she said she could not keep you. I knew. I knew you were meant to be mine. I loved you before you were born. Loved you the second I held you. Loved you every moment since. Being your mother was the greatest privilege of my life. Vanessa is my daughter too. But she is strong. Independent. She will be fine without me. You are different. Softer. Kinder. More vulnerable. I needed to make sure you were protected. That you had what you needed to build your life. That is why I changed the will. Not to punish Vanessa. But to ensure you had security. Opportunity. Freedom to create the life you want without financial stress. You are enough. Exactly as you are. Never let anyone tell you otherwise. Not Vanessa. Not Grace. Not anyone. You are my daughter. My choice. My love. Always. Mom. I cried reading it. Not sad tears. Grateful tears. For a woman who chose me. Who loved me. Who protected me even after death. Vanessa said I was not family. But she was wrong. I was family. Chosen family. The best kind. 1 year after Mom's death, I hosted a small gathering. At my new studio. To celebrate her life. To honor her memory. To bring together the people who loved her. Aunt Grace came. Patricia came. A few of Mom's other friends. People who had supported me. Who had shown up when it mattered. Vanessa did not come. I invited her. She declined. Politely. Said she was not ready. I understood. Maybe someday. Maybe never. Either way, I was okay. During the gathering, I shared stories. About Mom. About her strength. Her love. Her quiet sacrifices. About how she had given me everything. Including the truth. Even when it was hard. Aunt Grace shared too. About her sister. About the woman who had raised me. About the love that had motivated every decision. Every lie. Every protection. It was healing. Cathartic. Real. After everyone left, I sat in my studio. Surrounded by my work. My success. My future. And I thought about what Vanessa had said. You are not family. She was wrong. I was family. Not because of blood. Because of choice. Because of love. Because of years of showing up. Of being present. Of matter. Family is not just biology. It is commitment. It is choosing someone every day. It is loving them even when it is hard. Mom chose me. Every single day. And that made me family more than any DNA ever could. 2 years after Mom's death, I was going through old files. Organizing. Digitizing. Making sure important documents were backed up. I found my birth certificate again. The original one. The one that said Grace was my biological mother. I looked at it differently now. Not with anger or confusion. With understanding. With gratitude. Grace gave me life. Susan gave me a family. Both were gifts. Both mattered. But then I noticed something I had not seen before. At the bottom of the birth certificate. In the section marked additional notes. Small handwriting. Almost hidden. I read it. Biological mother Grace Chen. Legal adoptive mother Susan Chen. Chosen mother. Susan Chen. The greatest gift I ever received. It was signed. Dated. Notarized. But the words were not legal language. They were personal. Emotional. True. Chosen mother. That was how Mom saw herself. Not biological. Not legal. Chosen. The mother who chose to love me. To raise me. To give me everything. And I was the chosen daughter. Not by accident. Not by obligation. By choice. By love. By intentional, deliberate, powerful love. Vanessa said I was not family. That I was a mistake. That I did not belong. She looked at that birth certificate and saw proof I was less than. But she missed what mattered. The signature. The note. The truth. I was not less than. I was chosen. And being chosen is more powerful than being born. I framed that birth certificate. Hung it in my studio. Not to prove something to Vanessa. To remind myself. Of what I was. Who loved me. Why I mattered. I was Riley Chen. Daughter of Susan Chen. Biological daughter of Grace Chen. Chosen daughter. I love my daughter. Enough daughter. And no one. Not Vanessa. Not anyone. Could take that from me. 3 years after the day Vanessa told me I was not family, I stood in my studio. Successful. Thriving. Surrounded by people who chose to love me. I thought about that conference room. That moment. Those words. Not family. Not really. She was wrong. So completely, utterly wrong. I was family. The truest kind. The kind built on choice. On love. On commitment that outlasted death. And that was worth more than any inheritance. Any apology. Any acknowledgement from someone who could not see my worth. I knew my worth. Mom knew my worth. That was enough.